Hello, and welcome, my dudes, to another one of my streams. Now, today I got something pretty special for you guys. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be starting my very first mini-series. A mini-series that aims to colonize Duna. Now, any settlement that aims to call itself a colony needs to have three things. It needs to have fuel, it needs to have energy, and of course, it needs to have Kerbals. Today, we're going to be addressing the Kerbal issue, or well, at least their habitation. Now, anyone that has watched my videos before knows that I like to keep things pretty minimal, and today is going to be no exception. So, we're going to be trying to keep our habitation module under 500 Kerbals. So, we'll see how it goes. Now, I do plan to have all kinds of infrastructure, habitation modules, maybe even a couple of SSTOs, but we'll see how that goes. I'm also not entirely sure how many episodes it's gonna be, but I reckon it's gonna be anywhere between, probably between 3 and 4, depending on how things are going. Anyway, today's goal is gonna be to build the actual habitation. Now, we're gonna be starting off with the, well, it's gonna be more of a tower than a regular lander. But once we build that, we'll try to get some sort of a launch solution for it, and then we'll see how to launch it into space. Since this is a long-term habitation thing, I'll definitely want to be using as many long-term habitation modules as possible, since we don't really want our Kerbals to be stuck in these, what are they called? In the skybus thingies for too long. Now, I'm not entirely sure how big I want this thing to be, but I reckon I'm probably gonna be making it about the same size as my Tylo lander, which was 350 tons. So this thing is probably gonna be from around 350 tons to around 500. Now, you guys might think that landing on Duna should be a lot easier than landing on Tylo. And, well, it kinda is, but also not really. Even though Duna does have an atmosphere, it unfortunately isn't very thick, and a craft of this weight is really not gonna slow down that much. This means that we will need to perform an engine-assisted landing, just like in the Tylo video. Now, I will probably experiment with parachutes, but honestly I'm not sure if I'll even go with parachutes in the final build. But we'll see, we'll experiment. Thankfully, with the help of Lazy Orbit, we can actually teleport this craft to Duna, and then just see how it performs, so we don't have to do an extremely long mission every time we want to try something out. Which is definitely a massive help. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't really able to stream that much in recent past. Basically, life happened. I had exams, I had finals from college, but they are almost over. I only have one exam left, and it's gonna be done next week, which means that I will have a lot more time for KSP. Which should be very nice. Should allow me to actually do a pretty cool series for you guys. Now, I'm not really sure how long it's gonna take until I can actually deliver it to you guys. But we'll see. I'm definitely a lot more concerned with delivering something that's actually cool to watch, rather something that's pretty fast, you know. I'd rather focus on quality. I'm studying mechanical engineering, which is pretty fitting for what I do in KSP, I guess. I did study aeronautical engineering, but I kind of dropped out of the university. It was a bit of a mix of me being pretty disappointed in the course and the course being absolutely soul-crushing. Basically, the course was just like super outdated, which was pretty lame. Like, we wouldn't do anything with programs, we didn't do any simulations, we'd literally only solve mathematical issues on paper, which is not really very relevant to how things are actually done today. So for now, I'm basically just building something that looks cool, and then we'll figure out how to actually launch it later. I reckon I do want it to be skyscrapery, just like the Tylo one, but I don't know, maybe a little bit... Maybe it's gonna be a little bit not as tall and a little bit wider. We'll see. I do want to make it a little bigger, though. Now, using the engine plates is a really bad idea, since engine plates have some sort of a rigidity issue in KSP, but they look cool, so I'm gonna use them. I think the looks will be worth it. Will be worth the suffering. So, apparently it's Mother's Day in some places today. It's pretty weird because we had Mother's Day last weekend. Maybe it's different for different places, like different timing. Not really sure. Google also says that Mother's Day was last week, but maybe it's just pulling my location and it knows that in Lithuania Mother's Day was last week, so it's showing me the appropriate time for my appropriate place. No idea, honestly. I think I'll firstly do the bottom half. Do some structure. Another issue with using these engine plates is that they're going to be creating massive amounts of drag. I'm pretty sure engine plates are also bugged, where they will have like a ridiculous amount of drag. And we have like a lot of them facing up, so it's probably not going to be optimal, but yeah, whatever. It'll be fine. Also, let me know, guys, if the music is too loud, if it's too quiet. Let me know what kind of issues you got with the stream. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing when streaming. I have a little bit of experience of video making by now, but streaming is still very foreign to me, so I'm kind of just trying stuff out. Kind of making it up as I go. Yeah, something like this looks pretty nice, I'd say. And we can disguise some structures as fuel. Well, we'll need some fuel since we'll need to perform an engine landing. And we definitely want all of our fuel to be as low down as possible for better weight distribution. Yeah, I like that. Looks pretty nice. But anyway, guys, how's your weekend going? How are things going for you? You got any cool stories to tell? Unfortunately, I'm not Matt Lown, so I can't just go on tangents. Or like little stories. Honestly, I got no idea how he has so many stories to tell in every single one of his videos. I'd run out in like 5 videos, I imagine. How am I planning to bring this to Duna? With a lot of engines. In thrust we trust. I expect this thing to be around probably 4 to 5 megatons once I'm done, so we're just gonna be using a lot of engines. Hence why I said in the community post that we're gonna be watching a slideshow once we're actually launching. However, honestly, after the Eve spaceplane, FPS doesn't really scare me anymore. Like, that was especially horrendous to experience, so even if this thing takes me like half an hour to get into orbit, it's not really gonna be that big of a deal. Since rockets are a lot more straightforward than planes, so it's gonna be fine. Actually, maybe I'll delete one. Yeah, make something like this. That definitely looks like some sort of a colony habitation thing. Now, I'm not especially worried about actually bringing this to Duna. Sure, it's gonna take quite a bit of effort and a lot of trial and error. But what I'm worried about is future videos, so to say. KSP basically bases its FPS, or well, not bases its FPS, but in KSP, your FPS depends on how complex of a craft you have and how many craft you have around you. Since I do want to build both fuel, both this absolute skyscraper, I'll want to do rovers, I'll do SSTOs, and I'll have to land them all in a single place. Oof, this thing is already 500 tons. Okay, so, and I'll want to land it all in a single place. That's a bit of an issue, because we'll have a lot of parts in a single place. So hopefully my FPS isn't too bad. Now, for takeoff, it's not an issue. But once we actually start landing stuff like SSTOs, I will actually need to have functional FPS. And then we might have some issues. And hey, Gabosaurus. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Honestly, this thing might be a little bit too chunky. I think I'll take one story off, actually. Glad to hear it, man. SSTOs are definitely my main thing, but crazy shit like this is also pretty fun to do. Not gonna lie. Now, this mini-series is gonna be mostly about rockets, but the finale is gonna have a pretty wild SSTO, so you'll see, guys. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Now, I am like slightly considering just making it into a single video, like making the entire process into a single video. But I feel like the video would be extremely long, and you guys would also have to wait for like a month for it, so I'm probably gonna split it up into a series. So the mission today is to build a massive skyscraper and deliver it to Duna. This is gonna be our habitation module for a Duna colony. And of course we're gonna be doing it in a single launch, since multi-launches are annoying to deal with. And I'm lazy. Yo, Starship sounds like a pretty cool... Ah, I clicked on the Kerbals accidentally. Starship sounds like a pretty cool idea. And I'm happy to hear it, man. I have no idea how to pronounce her name, though. Lily says... Oh man, I have no idea. Okay, well, I gotta do something for this time, though, because I clicked on the Kerbal Manager, and I'm gonna have to wait for about between 3 to 4 years until it loads. So I did build a bit of a mock-up SSTO, and I used a lot of these... Oh, fuck, I think the game might have actually... Oh, nope, it didn't crash. So I built a super big Kerbal fairing SSTO, and I used a lot of these. Now, I thought that it wouldn't be an issue to have a lot of these, but unfortunately, Kerbal Manager slows down just as much as the Parts Manager once you have a lot of stuff in. This means that it's probably gonna take me several hours of filling up the Kerbals with the SSTO for the finale. But I guess I'll just have to deal with it. How do we call rockets like the Falcon Heavy? I mean, it's just a rocket. I don't think it needs some sort of a specific name. I don't think. Maybe it does. I don't think it needs any specific name, though. It's just a rocket, basically. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I want to build in some sort of an electrical thing into this thing. I will have a separate electrical module that's going to connect to our tower. So I'm not really sure if I want to build electricity into this. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. So this thing is honestly a little bit heavier than I expected it to be, or than I planned to. Oh, we'll see, I might have to scale it down a little bit. Oh, what the fuck is this? Okay, thank you, KSP. Could I please rotate these parts? This thing is also probably going to require about 800 struts to actually stay together, I imagine. I'm doing a Can you do it, Lave SSRT? Honestly, I'm not super into SSRTs. The issue with SSRTs for me, at least like the spaceplane kind, is that the main reason why you would want to use an SSTO is for the jets. Jets are ridiculously efficient, and they're basically what enable SSTOs to basically be functional. If you do an SSRT, you're kind of not utilizing the main thing that makes SSTO special. So I'm personally not super into them. I'm doing a similar mission in KSP2. Do you have any tips for me, please? As in, you're doing a Duna station? I mean, I haven't done the mission, so I don't know if I can give you a lot of tips just yet. But, I mean, use hydrogen, man. Hydrogen is cracked, and it's gonna let you cut down on the weight dramatically, and it's gonna make it a lot easier. Yeah, 800 at least. I really wish this game wasn't so wobbly, but I guess it is what it is. So I need to remember to save my build fairly frequently, since this build of KSP seems to be a little bit more prone to random crashing, which is a little annoying. Sweet, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying my videos. I mean, it's not an interstellar vessel, but it's definitely an interplanetary one. Or at least it'll hopefully be. We'll see. It's already 500 tons. So, I don't know. I'm not really liking how this top part looks, though. I feel like it looks a little weird. Maybe we take it down by another story? Actually, I'm gonna add engines first and see what kind of delta V we have. So I haven't tested this, but I estimate that we'll need about 1,000 meters a second of delta V for the lander. Oh god, this is so laggy. Why is it so laggy? Oh, we actually have plenty of delta V. Okay, so that's pretty good. TVR is sufficient. I kind of want the bottom part to be fairly thick. Maybe slim this part down. Originally, I wanted it to go sort of like slim down, then thicken up a little bit towards the top, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't work as well as I expected it to. Oh yeah, man, we're definitely gonna be using the vectors. This whole craft is gonna be mostly powered by vectors. Other than, of course, the mandatory swerve, because swerve is absolutely cracked. Also, I feel like I messed up a little bit and made this stick out a little bit too much, but we'll see. I'm not really sure why the game is lagging so much. Like, I don't have that many parts. It's just like, it's only 200 parts game. Come on. It's like not even that much. Oop. Okay, I think I need to move these down. I mean, the swerve is heavy, but it also has absolutely ridiculous efficiency, so it really doesn't matter. For interplanetary travel, you have to use the swerve. And I'll definitely be using the swerve a lot. And, well, I'll be using it to get to Duna, basically. For actually landing, it's going to be useless. And for the actual landing, we're going to be using vectors. But to actually get to Duna, we're going to be using the swerve. This thing is going to be ridiculously heavy already. And since hydrogen is super low density, we can cut down on the weight a lot. I don't think I have joint rigidity cranked up. Basically, I just don't include me strutting my craft in the time lapses. I feel like it's gonna be kind of boring, just me going and putting on like a lot of struts. So I just don't include it in the time lapse. But no, I definitely strut all of my builds. Now, it might be a good idea to include the strutting process, but I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of boring. Also, in order to strut everything, I need to move the camera around a lot, and that usually doesn't look good. It would kind of drag out the time lapse, I feel like. You want what, guys? Yeah, I think this needs to be slightly slimmed down. I think you might be right. Oh man, if you think this is massive, just wait until you see the full rocket. We're gonna be lucky if we get like 3 FPS. Honestly, yeah, the Swerve and the Vector are two best engines. Vectors, as the name would imply, have a lot of gimbal range, which makes them extremely handy for builds like these, since the Vector offers a lot of control when landing, or when taking off. And of course the Swerve has absolutely insane ISP, so we can just abuse the Swerve and basically get a lot of extra delta V for the same weight. Honestly, I'd say that, well, outside of obvious KSP2 issues, the Swerve actually enables us to do a lot of wild builds compared to KSP1, since the Swerve is just ridiculously efficient. Oh man, I'm gonna get 3 FPS, that's for sure, but the game is also gonna be running at like 1/10 real speed. That's the real issue. KSP doesn't seem to go below 3 FPS, but the game engine is just gonna slow down then. Which is honestly even worse, but it is what it is. I mean, I feel like my builds are already as minimalistic as they get, so, you know, there's no real way of avoiding the low FPS that I'm getting. Swerve is the nuclear engine, the new one. God, the game is so laggy. This one. This is the Swerve. And it's absolutely cracked. Now, I'm also not very happy about how this bit looks. That's pretty rough, man. Yeah, I'm definitely no stranger to 1 FPS gaming. If you saw my previous videos. Okay, maybe we actually change the top a little bit. Not super happy with how it's looking. I do want to have like a tall boom type of thing, where I'm gonna put some antennas on, maybe a couple of solar panels. We'll see. Yeah, I don't exactly have a like a specific design planned out. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty nice. Now, I'm not super oh my god, it's 600 tons. Now, I'm not sure if we can actually lift 600 tons, but we'll see. We can probably make it a bit lighter. We don't need 2,000 meters a second of Delta V, so can definitely fuel down some of our fuel tanks. Do not like it. Yeah, man, I'm sure. Honestly, if I wasn't making videos, I wouldn't have done like half of the crazy shit I do. Oh man, waiting for Parts Manager is definitely a highlight of KSP2. I've clicked on the fuel tank like 30 seconds ago, by the way. Okay, still waiting, still wait. Oh, there we go. Wow, that was snappy. Okay, so we don't want fuel here. I don't know exactly how much Delta V we need, but I think suborbital velocity is about 900 meters a second. I estimate we're gonna lose about 100 meters a second due to drag, but we're also gonna lose about like 300, 400 meters to like less than efficient burns. So I'll say like 1.1k Delta V, something like that we need. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, Gabosaurus. Before it got obliterated by a bug. Yeah, KSP2 do be like that. My advice is to quick save very, very often. That says for every 100 tons needs about 50 Delta V. I'm not sure if it works exactly like that for Duna. Or maybe I'm thinking of like the wrong thing. Oh my god, can I please get this fuel tank? Parts Manager, Jesus. I don't think it's giving me the correct fuel tank. Like, I'm clicking on it, and the Parts Manager is... Oh, 500 meters a second. Yeah, it could be, that could be. I strapped it in a 120 meter tall rocket. Man, 120 meters is definitely pretty tall. I don't think even this thing is 120 meters. Man, I really hope they fix the Parts Manager for the next update. This is so painful. Just having to, Okay, so I guess this fuel tank is empty. Let's check this one. Because we definitely do want to defuel this thing a little bit. We don't need this much Delta V. I did do a little bit of preliminary testing. I basically took my Tylo base and tried to land it on Duna, and ended up using about 1,000, so that's probably what we're going to be going with. Sweet, man. I'm glad you think so. It's going to be an absolute abomination by the time we're done, but I think the end result is going to be extremely cool. We'll see, though. Well, it's going to be cool if the Parts Manager ever loads. Okay, let's check this fuel tank now. Now, we'll still need to get some landing legs. I'm not entirely sure how many landing legs we'll need, but I'm probably just gonna put 3 legs on every part that's in 6 times symmetry. So that's how much? That's 6, 12, 18 legs. And I'm obviously using those big legs because they look really cool. I can't tilt it before 20 kilometers. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's Balancing your craft for re-entry is a little bit different for balancing it for like regular flight. You need to have very strong elevator, rudder, roll of 40, and your weight balance has to be a little bit more stable than for like regular atmospheric flight. So how many parts are there? I'll be able to check in a second as soon as the parts manager loads and I can actually like defuel the fuel tanks properly. But I think about 200 at the moment. It's probably going to be around like 350 once I attach all the struts, once I put the landing legs on, like a couple little parts like electrical. Although you probably don't even need batteries, since these crew modules will have batteries of their own, so actually I don't think we need batteries. I think we're good. How do we... yeah. Man, 10 FPS if you're lucky. Go for at least 20 legs. I mean, the main thing that I'm focusing on here is for this thing to look cool. So if 20 legs look cool, then I'll go for 20 legs. Also, part count is 200 at the moment and 430 tons. Okay, that's very manageable. 430 should be fine, I reckon. Oh, but attaching the legs is going to be a little bit annoying, I think. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Boom. Oh, gotta wait for parts manager again. My god. Oh yeah, man. I'm not expecting good FPS with this thing. I expect for this craft to take about 30 to 45 minutes of real time to get to orbit. Your build, your choice. Yeah, I choose to suffer willingly. I choose to suffer for you guys. Now, what I would really like to do is for KSP to somehow remember that I literally never use auto suspension. Would be really nice if I could just set up like maximum spring and maximum dampening to be the default, so I wouldn't have to go in and literally change it every single time I do a build. You should leave your parts manager up. Man, so I should, you're right, but out of a habit I just close it. I'm used to just closing the parts manager in KSP1, so as soon as I'm done, it's just muscle memory, man. I'll close it automatically. Oh, actually, I should have attached legs that are already deployed. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I'd say that's a sufficient amount of legs. What do you guys think? Now, I will need to probably reorient where I have the rocket engines. And also, I will need to have some sort of like an attachment port to this thing, because I will be connecting stuff to it, so we'll need to figure that out as well. Every time I use those legs, at least one just leaves the ship. So, for me, oddly enough, I don't have the issue of them detaching, but I do have the issue of them creating an impulse and then just like wiggling the ship off course. However, we're not gonna have this issue with this craft. Now, I'm sure we'll have the impulse, but we have vectors, we have fantastic thrust vectoring, as the name would imply, and we're also gonna have Werner RCS on the top of this craft, so we're gonna have, even though this thing is super massive, we're gonna have really high authority in terms of controlling it. Oh man, we're gonna need a lot more engines to get to orbit. Currently, what I'm doing is I'm just building the base itself. Basically, with a build like this, what you want to do is you want to go from top to bottom. So firstly, we're going to be building the base itself. Then we're going to be building the interplanetary service module, as I like to call it. So it's going to be the swerve. And then we're gonna try and build some sort of a solution that can get this abomination into orbit. Yeah, we're pretty far from the ascent for now. Well, we'll probably manage it. In thrust we trust, guys. Okay, what kind of thing do I want for the top? Oh, nope. What the fuck? Okay, we do something like this. We do. Actually, maybe I keep the boom bigger. Let's see. How much does this weigh, actually? Ooh, 4 tons. Nah. Nah, we're gonna go with the thinner boom. I mean, maybe this isn't a boom. I don't know. Maybe you guys can correct me. Correct me in the chat. I think this would be called a boom. Maybe not. Let's see then. For this part, what we want is we want a radial thingy. Just like this. Offer a masterclass in KSP. Oh man, I have no idea how that would go. I mean, honestly, it does sound pretty fun, so I wouldn't mind doing it. Man, if you want me to host a masterclass in KSP, do shoot me an email. I'll definitely respond. Extended truss section. I mean, yeah, probably. That's probably what it is, but it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as much as like a boom, you know? Yeah, I think I'll just call this a boom. Okay, now let's attach the useless antennas. And now that we got the useless antennas, let's attach the antennas that are actually useful. Well, they're not going to be useful for us since we're not going to have any probe cores on this thing, but gotta do it for the looks. Extended truss section, yeah. Okay, guys, yeah. I guess this is an extended truss section. Parts manager. Okay, hold on, guys. The parts manager is loading, so we'll resume the stream in approximately 5 hours, I imagine. It's a bomb. I actually have an idea for that. That does include the bomb, actually. Most likely after the miniseries, or maybe during the miniseries, I'm probably gonna build an SSTO that has a functioning rocket that's gonna bomb something on a different planet. It sounds like a cool idea. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we'll see. For that to work though, I still need to wait for the drag bug to be fixed. Yeah, dropping a skyscraper. We're gonna be doing more than just a skyscraper though. We're gonna be doing a lot more than that. BMP, that's the mod, right? So I probably could use the mod, but I think the mod completely disables the KSP2 manager, and honestly, I think the new manager has both its ups and downs. I do like it in a way, and I don't really want to lose it completely. Like, for example, fuel management is actually very nice in the new parts manager. Now, I think we put these at the very bottom of the stack, right here. Yeah, I think that looks nicer. Oh, yeah, I'll need to check it out then. I haven't checked it out because it used to disable the KSP2 manager, but if it doesn't anymore, then yeah, I'll need to give it a look. Oh, parts manager. Gotta wait. Oh, Shadow Dev, it's actually you. I didn't notice the name. Unironically, it would probably be faster for me to turn off KSP, install the mod, come back, and then open up these antennas than for me to wait for the parts manager to open up. But I'm lazy, so I'll do it some other time. Now, you guys might be wondering, why am I putting so many antennas on it? Well, there's really no reason. I think they just look cool. Hopefully you guys do agree, because waiting for these parts managers to open is definitely painful. Oh man, I'm definitely excited to try it out. Okay, my man, if you have some insider knowledge, can you tell me if the devs are fixing the drag issues with cargo bays and fairings in the next patch? That's all I need to know, man. Oh yeah, man, no problem. Man, the mod that I'm shilling a lot is the cheat menu mod, purely for the arrow debug menu. I see a lot of people asking where the how do I actually use the arrow debug menu. Ends up to it leads to a lot of shilling of that specific mod. Okay, I'd say that looks pretty good. Oh, I see. Okay, what we need is some sort of a way to actually leave this thing. Where's the utility? Bum bum bum. Definitely want a ladder. Well, we have 6 vectors, but I mean, as long as it has more than 1.0 TVR, it's gonna land. I might need to add more vectors, but that's something I'll address a little bit later. I'll first want to like build the whole station out, then I'll strut it, and then we'll see where we land. I don't think adding more engines is gonna be like a huge issue, but we'll see. I mean, it might, because adding more engines means more weight, means more fuel, means more weight. But we'll see. So far, I think that it's still at a manageable size. I man, see around. Of course, I put the ladder upside down. So I feel like I can't be the only one that puts the ladder upside down literally every single time. I don't think I've literally ever put the ladder the right way up in my entire time of playing KSP. Yep, bye man. Okay, so that looks fine. I'll probably raise it up. Don't really like how it's just floating. I'll probably wanna lighten up without the magnet a little bit. Right, that looks good. Now, how do we make an attachment point? Maybe I just take off one of the legs and make some sort of attachment? Not entirely sure, actually. Okay, actually, I'm gonna strut this thing first. The fun part. Yeah, it's gonna be insane once I actually make the orbital insertion stage. Okay, let's see if we can actually strut this while using under 5 million struts. If we can only use 4 million instead of 5, I think that's gonna be a big win for us. Man, if only there was some sort of a feature that could auto-strut things for you, but wouldn't include a lot of additional struts that would have to be rendered. Maybe, like, I have no idea what that feature would be, but maybe it would be called, like, auto-strut or something? I don't know, it's probably pretty dumb, guys, right? Talking about cheat menu. Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that I use from the cheat menu is the arrow debug, honestly. But that's all I need. Okay, is that enough struts? No, of course it isn't. What else do I strut? Okay, I probably need to strut this part, I reckon. We go something like this. Yeah, maybe the devs could add that. Hopefully they do add auto strut soon, because having to add struts, like, for a rocket, it's not that big of a deal, but having to add struts for SSTOs and space planes is very painful, because struts actually have a lot of drag. Okay, let's see. Let's see how wobbly this is. Does the game randomly remove struts? I think it does. It does randomly remove struts if you go back. Like, if you revert something that you did, then it usually removes all the struts. Sometimes when you save, it removes the struts, but not always. I don't know, it's pretty random. I feel like it still happens, but I haven't had it happen in a little while for me. I feel like as long as you avoid reverting, it's not that bad. Oh god, what is this FPS? Okay, this FPS looks very non-promising. Hopefully it's because I'm streaming? Maybe? Cope? Okay, I would say that the wobbling is not too bad, though. Honestly, FPS is manageable. I mean, it's horrible, but see what happens if you turn infinite fuel on. Yeah, it doesn't really help. Also, for that guy that doubted that 6 vectors can get this thing up into the air, it can even take off on Kerbin, apparently. Man, landing this thing with 6 FPS is gonna be, oof, a little bit of an issue. I'm not really sure why it's running so poorly, though. I feel like it should run better. It's only like 250, 300 parts. That's like not that much. Yep, now I might have to add more vectors, since we do need more thrust weight to actually land rather than take off. But we'll see. Since this thing will have to land with a suicide bird, Duna's atmosphere is way too thin to actually allow us to get any meaningful effects from parachutes, so it'll be engines all the way down. Oh, I guess it is 400 parts, so I guess the FPS is to be expected to be pretty shit. Okay, let's add some burners. Where do we want some RCS? Let's see. I think burners, yeah, they're in utility. I feel like this, what you guys call it? Not the boom thing, the thing on top. I feel like it's like kind of blurry for some reason. Antennas are also kind of blurry as well. Seems like some sort of a lighting issue. Well, regardless, let's add some burners. I mean, it doesn't look the best, but actually, let's fix this. Let's rotate this thing a little bit. 2, 3. That's a little bit too low. 4. Yeah, I reckon there should be enough burners. Now, our fuel is... It's a little borderline. I'll include a little bit more fuel, actually, just to be safe. It's probably enough, but... Since we're going to be landing with, like, 1 FPS, I think it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, it is pretty weird. The Tylo base actually... I actually was getting like 15 FPS when landing the Tylo base, and I don't think it had that many more parts. So it's pretty weird. So this is just a guess, and I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like something happened in the last patch with the crew modules that like... Maybe they like render kerbals inside the crew modules or something like that that makes FPS a little bit worse with them. Although I'm not entirely sure. Just a bit of a guess. But yeah, hopefully our FPS is actually a little bit better on Duna. Because if I'm getting like 6 FPS with only 400 parts, this doesn't really bode well for the rest of the series. I mean, I'll still do it, I'll suffer through it, but I would highly prefer to actually get some FPS, you know? Okay, about this much fuel, please. Thank you. Yeah, 1.2k, that should be enough. That puts us at 500 tons. Okay. Now, what we need is some sort of a connection. How do I connect stuff? Now, I'd like to remove one of the legs, but they're all placed in symmetry, so removing only one would kind of suck. Although I think I kind of have to do it. Yeah. I do have to do it, unfortunately. I guess I'll just place legs outside of symmetry. Okay. Now, some of these are probably going to be too high, some of these are probably going to be a bit too low. Well, we can probably fix it, I hope. Let's see. Okay, they all look about right, I'd say. Now, wow, the lag. Now, what we want to do is we want to attach an attachment point. The plan is to basically have an external module for power. So we're going to be powering this thing with an external thing. And we need a way to attach it. Nah, I'm not a huge fan of how this looks. Of course, as always, our primary objective is to make it look nice. Nah, I think I need to go back into structure. Yeah, I think I use these. Go into the side view. And we sort of make it curvy. Oops. It's actually kind of too low. Okay, so I like the idea, but I think I need smaller pieces. Yeah, you're probably right, Shadow. Oh, actually, I think I'm using the exact same size. It's probably from the collisions. But I guess there's not really that much that we can do about it. It just is what it is. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. It's about what I'm going for, I'd say. What do you mean hide placed parts? Like, how would you hide them? Yep, I think we're gonna have something like this. Not really sure why I can't place this though. I guess I can. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, having the ability to hide parts and make them go transparent would be super nice. Like, for example, it would allow me to strut things inside of this whole contraption. Which, yeah, would be very nice. I think I need to go into, nope, coupling. Okay, so this is going to be our electrical port, basically. Actually, it might be a little bit too long. Nah, it's fine. Oh, actually, it might break off. I think it's a little bit too low. Once we land, I think it's gonna impact the ground, most likely. Let's probably raise it up a little bit. Yep. Looks fine. Okay, let's check it out if everything is still fine and nothing randomly breaks. Now, I do have unbreakable joints on, but even with unbreakable joints, things sometimes do break randomly. Honestly, in the 2D view, it should actually allow you to go to like make slice cuts. So, for example, like make the first like 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters of your build invisible. That would be very nice. Okay, I'd say this thing is very borderline too low, but I don't think we can do too much about it. Maybe we can actually. No, we probably can. Let's fix it. Yeah, this thing is almost guaranteed to break off if I actually go with a design like this. Go with something different. Oh, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, I think this is gonna be a better setup. I'm gonna have the like the electrical service module be sitting on the exact same legs, so I think I actually do want it to be at roughly the same height. And this will also make it a lot easier for us to actually land our craft, since we won't have a low point sticking out. Looks pretty weird, but I think it will look good once it's like fully built up. Probably not gonna... I don't know, this looks really stupid. Okay, I guess let's check our TVR real quick. Oh. Oh, I guess we can't. Nice. Yeah, you're right, man. I should build the electrical module now. But the electrical module, to build the electrical module, I also need to build a pretty big rover. Basically, what I plan to do is I plan to make a rover that's going to be able to couple with a lot of parts that I'm going to be moving around, and one of the parts is going to be the electrical thing. And to make it compatible with everything else, so it will take quite a while for me to build a rover, so I think I'm just gonna go with this goofy design for right now. Actually, I'm gonna make it a little shorter, because this looks really dumb. Where's structure? I feel like I might have to build like literally every single module before you can launch anything. Like build the rover, build the fuel repositories, build the SSTO that I'll eventually use before I can even make the first episode, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because a lot of it will have to work together, basically. Yeah, that doesn't look as dumb. Okay, six vectors are probably not enough. Like you guys said. I'm not entirely sure where I could put more vectors on. I mean, obviously on these parts, but... I don't know. See, I'd say overall look is pretty nice. Definitely looks like a colony type of deal. Also, what I'm gonna do to reduce drag... Do you plan on making an SSTO garage? Oh man, the SSTO that I'm gonna be making for this series is not gonna fit in any garage. That thing is gonna be absolutely massive, so no, it's probably gonna be... How big is this thing? It's 70 meters. Honestly, the SSTO might actually be bigger than this thing. Hello there. Okay, I'm gonna go with this amount of engines for now. We'll see. Let's test if this thing can actually land on Duna, or if we need more fuel, or more engines, etc, etc. And nice to hear it, man. Are the celebrations done for you? Oof, nighttime. Yeah, whatever. Don't really matter. Let's do the lazy orbit. So when using lazy orbit, what I would suggest you do is first teleport to Kerbin's orbit, and only then teleport to the orbit that you actually want to go to. If you don't do that, it's pretty likely that you'll have random parts offset. So, I actually might make it VTOL. What the fuck is that? Did you guys see that, like, red thing for, like, one frame? The fuck was that? Okay, that was pretty weird. So, I might actually make the SSTO VTOL, but it's actually for a good reason. Since landing on Duna is pretty rough with a spaceplane. The reason for that being is that, well, as you guys might have seen from my VTOL shuttle video, Duna's atmosphere is basically too thin to land like a normal plane, but it's also too thick to land like in reverse with engine power, which makes VTOL actually a pretty smart choice for Duna. However, our SSTO is going to be absolutely massive, and it would require a fair number of dedicated VTOL engines, which would definitely complicate things. So I'm not really sure how I'll tackle the landing yet. Maybe I'll just kind of like brute force it with like a lot of landing attempts. We'll see. Yeah, some lore. Man, there's always lore with my builds. Oh wow, this thing is... Actually, it might be fast enough. It might just be the lag that's making it appear pretty sluggish. VTOL will both complicate things and also make them simpler. Because landing on Duna sucks with a spaceplane. VTOL actually makes it better, but then I would also have to take off Kerbin with VTOL engines. Now, if the cargo bay bug is fixed by then that wouldn't be an issue. I'm definitely doing VTOL. But since it isn't fixed yet, we might have some issues. Okay, let's see microengineer. Oh, our TVR is 3.5? Yeah, I think 6 vectors might be plenty. We'll see though. As soon as we get on retrograde. Hello, welcome back. Oh man, landing this thing is gonna suck. Okay, can you please get on retrograde? Another thing that I'm really excited to be like sort of fixed, or I guess tuned, is SAS. Like SAS in KSP2 is just, it's very suboptimal. Why not do HTVL? I mean, it would be HTVL, but I just call it VTOL because I feel like it's a lot simpler. We're gonna use infinite propellant to get on a suborbital trajectory, since in the real mission we're gonna be using the swerve for that. Let's see. Are you using microengineer? Yep, I am. Not really sure what's happening here though. Oh, I guess our sound is just bugged. How many swerves do you think this will need? At least 3, maybe 4 or 5. We'll see. Not entirely sure yet. Okay, so we do want to be coming in pretty shallow. The reason for a relatively shallow approach is that we do want to spend as much time as possible in the lower atmosphere to basically just slow down a lot for free. Oh, I actually might have to add some Werner engines specifically for the roll axis, because right now we have like almost no roll authority. Oh, very nice. SAS will be updated. That's definitely very nice to hear. From what I understand, SAS just needs some PID tuning. Like, the way that SAS performs now seems very similar to how my drones perform when the PIDs are improperly tuned. Okay, let's try and... what is this lag? Okay, let's try to land this thing. Yeah, I tried to talk with the with some vape smoke in my lungs. Yeah, SAS is definitely very sassy. Yep, sure, man. Do let them know. Although I'm sure they already know about the SAS issues. SAS just tends to like overcorrect, undercorrect, not correct enough, or like not use the full gimbal range. It's pretty sassy. Now we probably do want to leave time warp right as we're entering Duna's atmosphere, because I'm pretty sure the legs are gonna kill us if we enter in time warp. These like big legs seem to have some sort of a like weird interaction with specific planets, like specific altitudes. Something changes, and if you go into time warp during those altitudes, it'll destroy your craft for some reason. SAS is one of the last things on the list. I mean, it's not like a super major issue, but it's also very annoying. Like, it's not an issue for a smaller craft, but for something like this, it's... Well, not even for something like this, for like bigger craft in general, it's pretty annoying, I'd say. Okay, and let the PowerPoint slideshow begin. Now we're definitely gonna be repainting this thing. Like, yeah, beige and bluish doesn't look the best, I don't think. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the black that I usually go with, but I'll probably repaint it to something else. Maybe like a metallic white. Actually, I'm not even sure if being in time warp is faster, because when I go into time warp, the physics slow down, so it's probably about the same. PowerPoint simulator, yeah. I was hoping that the landing wouldn't be too bad, but oof. I guess you guys will just have to suffer with me. Actually, let's see how fast we can decelerate with engines. Oof, not very fast. Okay. So, before KSP2 came out, I thought I would do like literally everything like bare metal, but bare metal has the tendency of, well, as you would expect, it has the tendency of reflecting the light extremely aggressively, which ends up looking not the best, because you basically just end up with like half of the craft looking like a blur from the sun, like a mirror. I'm probably not explaining this perfectly, but yeah, unpainted doesn't look as good as at least I expected it to. I mean, it's realistic, but yeah. Now, the landing is probably gonna take quite a few attempts, since our TVR is super low. I mean, our TVR is decent, but it's still not great. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. Micro-engineer. Yeah, 3.5. It's probably gonna take several attempts. We don't have that much excess delta V. So yeah, our burn would have to be like decently efficient. Would look better with HDR. Yeah, probably. Yep, see ya, man. And yeah, thanks. I'm kind of tempted to make this thing a little smaller just to get more FPS, but I don't know. I mean, I'll manage to land. This is like not that big of a deal. I'm just concerned that I won't be able to pilot other stuff around it. We'll see, we'll have to do an experiment on carbon. We'll spawn this thing in, and then we'll spawn in a different vehicle and try to approach it and see how horrible our FPS is. No, this is actually a different base that I'm gonna be building specifically for Duna. This thing is considerably larger, actually. The Tylo base was 350 tons, this thing is around 500. Since we're going to Duna, we don't need as much Delta V, which means that I can replace fuel with carbo storage, basically. Von Braun. What do you mean? Am I saying it wrong? Yeah, I think I might have to make this thing a little smaller. Maybe like downsize this portion a little bit, just so we get slightly better FPS. Just like kind of taper this portion off a little bit. Because right now I feel like it's a little bit too rough. Yes, like classical English pronunciation of German words. I mean, I wouldn't know what the classical English pronunciation is since I'm not English. But I'll look into it, man. I'll look into it. Should probably be pronouncing my name correctly. one brown. So it's not like the color brown, it's like brown? Okay, let's try time warping. Let's see if it's actually a little faster. Oh, actually it is faster, yeah. We should be time warping. When we're in 4 times time warp, we're actually at about 50% real. Well, maybe a little bit more than 50, probably like 75% real time. So I guess it is a little faster. Now, I do wonder which part exactly is making this thing lag out so much. I wonder if it's because I clipped some parts into other parts and it's like making some weird collision things happen. Also, wait. Oh, I thought these were struts. It's pretty weirded out because I made pretty small struts. And like I was getting a lot better FPS with the Tylo thing. I think I was getting like 15 to 20. I think we'll need to investigate the Tylo lander after this landing. Actually, I think it might be these specific parts that are making it lag out. I mean, I'm not sure, but I have a hunch. So we probably do want to start burning. Yeah, actually probably a little bit too soon, but whatever. Actually, no. I'm gonna go check out the Tylo base. See what I was getting so much better FPS with the Tylo base. The weight and size was very similar, so let's investigate. Maybe if I take out like some specific parts, it's gonna be a lot better. We'll see. Yeah, time to investigate. Like, it's laggy even in the VAB, which is very unusual. Okay, let's go. Let's go find our Tylo save. There's definitely some very suspicious activities that are going on here. Very suspicious for sure. I think it is the small crew thingies that are lagging the game out, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure though. Or maybe just crew modules in general that are lagging the game out now. Activities do be pretty sus. Oh man, I don't know how you guys like your weather, but for me personally, weather has been getting a lot worse here lately. And I don't mean worse in like the typical sense. Like, weather has been around like 20 degrees, which is borderline too hot for me. I also live in a attic apartment, which means that a lot of heat gets trapped in it. Combine that with my PC, and my PC room gets ridiculously hot. Like, it's probably like 26, 27 degrees right now for me, which is not very enjoyable. I live in Lithuania. It usually doesn't get that hot during the summer, but we sometimes do have like a month or two of like plus 30 degrees, plus 30 degrees Celsius, which I absolutely hate, because if it's plus 30 degrees outside, it's gonna be like plus 40 in my house. I do have like a little portable AC, which helps a little bit, but it's not like a perfect solution. For me, my perfect weather is about 10C. I very much appreciate like cooler weather. Okay, yeah, FPS is a lot better with this thing. What, how many parts? 270 parts? It's not that much smaller. Yeah, man, that's very suboptimal. Okay, let's see if we remove the like the small parts, if it's gonna get any better. Probably will. I mean, this thing is considerably larger, so I guess it does make sense that it's... Okay, FPS is a lot worse. Let's see. Let's remove all of these small bits. 250 parts for 30 tons. Let's see. I think I also removed a lot of the struts, but whatever. This is going to be just a little FPS test. I mean, FPS is better, but it's still pretty bad. Surprisingly, like, we're getting 12 FPS. Maybe it's because of the legs? Maybe we're just having like a lot of like physics calculations from the legs. That could be it. Let's see, if we remove like half the legs, what happens? Let's remove the ones that are out of symmetry. Normally frame rates for me is playing like my Nintendo. Yep, I mean, I don't expect FPS to be good, but I feel like it should be better. Okay, so I don't think it's the legs, because FPS seems to be about the same. Let's see, with engines running, okay, 8 FPS. Let's see what we get with the Tylo base with engines running. I think I have enough stability with the legs. I'm just trying to investigate why my FPS is so much worse with the Duna base than with the Tylo base. Because they're of very similar size, like, or well, they're of similar part count. And yet the Duna base FPS is like considerably worse. Ah, fuck, I didn't save the Tylo base. Okay. Let's go back. I'm gonna pop a Coke real quick while I wait. And hello there, man. It does look cool. Like, I am pretty happy with the looks, but I'm not happy with the FPS, so we're trying to figure it out. I think there should be a way of increasing FPS without jeopardizing the looks too much. Oh, no, I saved it, it's all good. Thankfully, I did save it. Oh yeah, actually no, I didn't. I didn't save the title base in that specific save, but it's fine, I got it in different saves. Honestly, recently I've actually been using the KSP builds to transport saves between save files. It's honestly a lot easier just to go into Chrome and find the build online rather than me having to like rummage through my save files to find it. Because I usually make a new save file for every single mission that I do, so I have like 20 save files. So if I have like an older build that I want to use for like B-roll, or if I just want to check out how I did it, it'll usually take me quite a while to find it. But instead, if I just go into KSP builds, I can find it like super fast. It's also super convenient to copy. Okay, let's actually save it this time. Kylo base. Boom, boom. Let's see. I do want the legs extended for sure. I think it's probably just straight up because we have more habitation modules. This one is more fuel rather than habitation modules, and the Duna one is more habitation modules, and I think habitation modules for some reason just like lag the game out. And hey Opus, oh, we're just making an absolutely massive Duna base. Yup, it do be a lot. This is the Tylo lander though, this is the quote-unquote small one. I think I might want to try and rebuild the Duna base using mostly these like large habitation modules, because I think they're friendlier to FPS. Let's see what kind of FPS we're getting with this. Actually, I guess FPS isn't that good either. Like 15? 10 when burning. When burning FPS is pretty decent though. Maybe it's just Duna, because sometimes when, like for example, when I did the Duna VTOL shuttle, sometimes I just get like really bad FPS on Duna for no reason. So maybe it's that? I don't know. Yeah, the small one. This one is like the super minimalistic one, and the one that we're building is like just minimalistic, like. But like it's like a pretty reasonable size, not too small, not too big, like a pretty happy medium, I would say. I mean, it's only like 500 tons, so it's not too big. But yeah, I do think we need to rework it a little bit. It looks cool. I'm happy with the looks, but KSP is not happy with it. Let's see, what can we do? Here to learn patience. Honestly, I'm actually super impatient, which is pretty surprising that I actually do the builds that I do. Okay, let's just try to launch it and see if it magically fixed itself, because sometimes builds will just randomly get more FPS after you reload the quick save, or after you reload the save. Let's see. Let's see if it fixes itself magically. Would be very nice if it does. Did it fix itself? No, I don't think it did. I mean, I'm sure that they will optimize the game a lot more than it's optimized now, but it will take a while, unfortunately. Like, optimization isn't something that can happen overnight, sadly, so it's probably gonna take like a year or two until KSP2 is running about as well as modded KSP1, I would say. Although, honestly, the last couple of patches have improved performance a lot. Like, even though I'm getting super shit FPS right now, I'd be getting like literally 1/3 the FPS that I'm getting now in like pre-patch, like pre-first patch. My FPS has honestly more than doubled with the last couple of patches. So even though things are still not great now, they have actually improved a lot. Okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna try and do a fresh build. Oh wow, why is my FPS so bad? The fuck? Why am I only getting 60 FPS? Wait, is this save cursed or something? Yeah, the new terrain system is definitely gonna help a lot, but there are still other issues that are hurting FPS. I think this save file might be cursed. Okay, let's take this base and try to convert it into an absolutely fresh save, because I think that the save file is cursed already, because we're only getting 55 FPS with literally nothing in the VAB. Something is definitely not right. Oh. I don't think I can actually take this thing, because the root part is like inside this entire thing, so... Okay, let's see if we can reassign it. Yep, we can. Nice. Just move to VAB. I feel like that's gonna make it even worse, but yeah, sure, let's give it a try. But yeah, this save definitely feels cursed. Oh, what is this? What is this, guys? Do you see it on my mouse? Okay, cool. Had the game randomly have lower than usual FPS. Yeah, I mean, when actually launching, my FPS is normal, like 50 FPS, that's legit. And hello there. Oh man, I have no idea how to pronounce that. But welcome. If your graphics are too high. So, based on my testing, graphical settings make nearly zero difference for me. The difference is like unironically like 5% for me, so I just run max graphics. Oh, don't revert? Huh. Okay, let's try. Let's try to just go back then. Okay, boom. Okay, let's try it out. Nah, FPS is still really bad. I think the save might be cursed. I have a 5800 X3D. Okay, I think I'm just gonna try and copy this entire build into a fresh save and see how it goes. Something is definitely not right here. Yeah, graphical settings just really don't matter, honestly. I just run max graphics. What's the series called? Duna Colonies. Colony. Duna Colony 2. Give me custom, no stock vessels, and unbreakable joints. Honestly, unbreakable joints might as well be like the default setting with how easily things randomly break. Personally, I just run unbreakable joints at all times. Especially with like SSTOs. I feel like you basically have to run unbreakable joints because they will just like randomly explode on the runway. Might love CPU power over cache. Honestly, that might be. I have no idea. Also, my FPS is still really bad. Let me see, let me turn off some stuff in the background. I mean, turning off Chrome helped. A little bit. You know what, guys? I'm gonna try and reload KSP. Sometimes it helps. Although that might actually mess up the stream, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm really hoping. But we'll see. I'll take the risk. Yeah, physics are definitely hard to render in a lot of games. Although, honestly, for like a lot of physics-based games, like for example city builders or simulators, the X3D chips do usually work better. So, give me a second. And see ya, man. Okay, can you guys see the game? Yeah, you guys can see the game. Perfect. Okay, let's see if it fixed the FPS. So I used to edit the config settings as well, but I feel like in the latest patch, the rigidity is good enough to where I don't really need to mess with it too much. But yeah, editing the joint rigidity is definitely recommended. Well, VAB FPS is better. Let's see if it's actually better once we launch. No, seems about the same actually. I mean, it's not unplayable, it's just not good. Okay, I'm gonna try something. Let's land on Duna and let's see what kind of FPS we're getting on the surface. Because that's realistically what I'm really worried about. Like, I don't really care what kind of FPS I'm getting in space. I just care what kind of FPS I'm... What is this? I just really care what kind of FPS I'm getting, like, near the surface of Duna. Since I will need to actually land this thing, you know? Nate has an irritating affinity to wobbly rockets. Yeah, unironically. Literally, the entire thing got, like, offset randomly, but I don't really care. It's not really a big deal. That's game lore. What kind of lore is it, though? What was that according to lore? Man, we need Vadi video to explain this. Okay, do I have infinite fuel on? Because I think I do. Nope, I don't. Okay. The Kraken did attack us, but we survived, as you guys can see. Not unscathed, but we did survive. Okay, I feel like FPS is serviceable. See what kind of FPS we're getting with engines. The Kraken definitely tried. Oh wow, I can't move the arrow GUI menu. Okay, I think I need to pause the game to actually move it. Oh wow, even when I pause, the game is super laggy. I'm only getting 7 FPS when the game is paused, so that's pretty weird. Yeah, I see Shadow Dev. Interestingly enough, if you first teleport to Kerbin's orbit, and then teleport wherever you're going, you usually don't get these like offset issues. And yeah, we slayed the Kraken was definitely an overstatement. I mean, to be fair, in some aspects the game is actually a little bit better, like in terms of the Kraken, but definitely not in all aspects. Okay, so we probably want more engines. FPS is serviceable though. I can work with this. Is the stream broken? What do you mean broken? If it's just really bad FPS, then that's just KSP. But if it's like black or something, ah fuck. Let me check real quick. Is it just video, or can you guys still hear me? Just video. Interesting. Okay, nice. Because for me, it didn't go down in the Streamlabs, so that's pretty weird. Let me know if it's fixed, guys, if it magically fixed itself. I think Shadow Dev had the stream issue as well. Yeah, there's definitely some building practices that you want to that you want to develop for KSP1. However, stuff like building like super long solar panels or even something like this doesn't really evoke like the traditional Kraken attacks. So in some ways, the Kraken attacks are actually a little bit better. Now it's working. Okay, well, you guys can let me know if it breaks again. I feel like it might be, like, when KSP has, like, super bad FPS, I feel like the stream tends to go down as well. But I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I think we do need to simplify it a little bit. See if we can remove some parts and, like, not compromise the looks too much. Nah, I think that does make it worse. Like, look worse. Okay, that works. It would be nice to do like another... Actually, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing... maybe this? Nah, it looked better before. This is also gonna mess up a lot of our struts, but I guess it is what it is. Oh, actually, I could probably just use... I mean, I could use these, but these look pretty bad, so I think I'd rather use fuel tanks. And sort of just defuel them. Okay, actually, let's check out something else real quick. First off, tracking station. Let's get rid of our... Let's get rid of this thing, because we don't really need it. Let's test our FPS with the station actually spawned and then something driving around it. Because that's really what I'm worried about. Okay, let's spawn this on the runway. Oh god. That was way too fast. Okay. Now, let's go to the Kerbal Center. Let's do a little rover, and let's see if we can drive around. Oof. 14 FPS in the VAB. That's definitely suboptimal. Yeah, let's see how we do. 6, 7 FPS. That's pretty bad. Steering doesn't really work though. Do a plane. Oh man. I'm just doing like a little rover just to test FPS for now. Auto friction, steering, auto just steering, yeah, no thank you. Do a plane, yeah, everybody wants me to do a plane. We'll do a plane in due time, but for now we're just testing. I guess FPS is about what I expected it to be. Yeah, that's pretty shit. Nah, I don't think a PC restart is gonna do much. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking right now. We got several options. We can either scale everything down, so we basically scale down the habitation module, we scale down like the future rovers, fuel stuff, and then I can do the series. Another option is to just cope and deal with like the super shit FPS, which would make for a good video. But I don't know how long this would take. And the third idea is just to do like a massive lander without the series. Okay, I guess for now I'm just gonna get on with the rest of the build. That is gonna be a Duna station. Collision do be sus. A lot of things are sus right now. How many landing legs? I think that thing has, let me think. I think that thing has 24 legs? Although I'm not sure. Yeah, the wheels did just clip through the floor. I mean, I could scale it down, but then it wouldn't be as interesting. Okay, I guess this was the wrong quick save. Basically, I want to go to the quick save that lets me revert the tower, so we don't have any, like, FPS issues. I mean, we're gonna have FPS issues regardless, but it's gonna make our FPS issues a little bit less problematic. There we go, recover to the VAB. I don't think the structural parts are that big of an issue for our FPS, I don't think. Okay, let's try and do a new build and make it slightly smaller. See if we can scale things down a little bit while still keeping it pretty cool. Okay, the easiest way to do that would be to use less fuel tanks first off. Oh yeah, it's gonna need an absolutely ginormous booster. Okay, so we use this fuel tank. And we use this, and this is gonna be literally all of our fuel, I think. That's gonna cut down on fuel parts. Wait, did I mess something up? Yep, probably messed something up. Yeah, there we go. This is gonna be our fuel. Then we go with some of these. Do an SSRT? I might do one. I mean, I technically have done an SSRT. I think it's called like SpaceX inspired something something. That one is technically a approximate like a 35-ton LKO lift SSRT. The tower weighed around 500 tons. Now, I'm not really worried about the weight. What I'm worried about is just FPS, since I will need to do things around the tower. Like, I don't plan just to land the tower. Yeah, so the SpaceX inspired whatever video is an SSRT. So you can check it out if you want. If you want some SSRT content. See if I can offset this enough. Probably can't, but... Oh, actually... Yeah, I just can't. Just not enough. Did you ever play... Yeah, I've played a lot of KSP1. I don't know how much hours I have in KSP1 exactly, but it's definitely a lot. Approximately a lot of hours, I would say. Okay, that's not looking too bad. I wonder if these things will lag in the game out. Probably, but let's try it out. So, I don't think you actually can do an... I mean, you can do an SSRT, but an SSTO would be a lot more reasonable, since you can use the jets. And jets are, like, ridiculously efficient. Using the jets, it's kind of the, like, the whole point of an SSTO, really. those passenger modules. Which ones? Like the big ones or these command modules? You know how engines in far future tech work. I can't say I recall. It's been a very long time since I played that mod. If it's the mod that I'm thinking of, the one that adds like nuclear engines, warp drives, thing like that. Fair enough. You don't really look as good as the Mark III ones. I mean, these are the Mark III ones. Or do you mean like the bus cockpits? Looks pretty goofy, honestly. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of how this looks. Burj Khalifa to Duna. Honestly, I would like to do like a super tall skyscraper, but it's just gonna be way too wobbly. Okay, what kind of parts are we at? Only 70 parts, only 200 tons. Yeah, so this is very manageable. Maybe I do keep the lander down to like a reasonable degree. I don't know. I mean, that would be the reasonable thing to do, but it would also be kind of boring. Let's see the old one. That's definitely what I plan to do. Plan to do an SSTO with like 2 to 300 Kerbals that is gonna go to Duna. Basically, the SSTO is going to deliver all the Kerbals that we need for this whole thing. Honestly, nah, I'm just gonna cope with the shit FPS. I'm gonna go with this design. I think it looks too cool to not use. Okay, we will need a lot of struts on this specific part, since we're going to be using this to connect to the rest of our craft, basically. Then we do coupling. We do hydrogen. Okay, for this stage, we want probably about 2,000 meters a second. Now, in theory, we don't really need as much. But unfortunately, I don't think that this thing will be able to aerobrake around Duna. So, oh wow, that's actually... Oh, never mind. So I think we will need to use engines to brake instead of relying on aerobraking entirely. It do be a lot of Kerbals. I'm not really sure how many it is exactly, but I'm sure it's gonna be a lot. Hydrogen testicles. Also, I mean, I could put some jets on this thing, but it really wouldn't make sense to use them. It's not really gonna do much for us. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with something like this. Okay, well, that's definitely not 5,000. And that's definitely not 6,000. Okay, I think we're getting some sort of a delta V bug. Let's see with just one sword how much delta V we have. Okay, 3,000. That's actually a lot more than we need. Okay, maybe I go with 3 of these. Whoops. 3 of these. That's 2.6k. That's still a bit more than we need. Although, I guess it should be fine. Once I attach the swerves, we're gonna be losing a little bit of delta V, so it's probably not a huge deal. Oh, actually, these things are a little bit offset, so I'm probably gonna reattach the fuel tanks. Oh, yeah, they're still offset. I guess I'll just try to align them without the magnet tool. Should... Usually pretty decent at aligning stuff without the magnet, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue, I guess. How do you get that much delta V? Man, hydrogen in the swerve is insane. That's why only this much fuel will get us 2.7k. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit less since we'll have multiple swerves, but yeah, man, the swerve is insane. It just gives you so much delta V. And honestly, also pretty good thrust as well. So do want to get some cones on these things. And we're going to be offsetting them inside of the hydrogen tank since we don't really want them to we don't want them to be clipping into our Burj Khalifa, so to say. Oh, fuck. Clicked on these accidentally. Guess I have to put them in all over again. Now, of course, I could click the undo tool, but the undo tool usually messes up all the struts, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Now we gotta apply 1 billion struts. Oh, and all the struts are busted. Very nice. Honestly, man, the old nerve is dead content at this point. I mean, maybe once science is added, there's gonna be like more of a incentive to actually use it. But right now, it's literally useless because the swerve is just substantially better. Okay, I think we need to close the legs up. Oh, I probably shouldn't have right-clicked. Oh, it wasn't... Actually, it was surprisingly not that bad. Okay, these are... I can probably get rid of these legs. Yeah, I gotta use some space duct tape. Struts are basically space duct tape. I think it was Strats and Bliss who said it, not entirely sure. But he's definitely correct. Okay, I want to get this thing a little bit higher up, I reckon. Yeah, it would be pretty painful. Especially waiting for like 5 years for it to load. Okay, what's the weight? Oh, 666 tons. Perfect. Perfect payload mass, I would say. Represents the build perfectly. Okay, could I please get the coupler on the center engine? There we go. Oh, actually, is this going to explode my side engines? Probably gonna move them up a little bit, actually. I don't think the fairing is gonna explode the engines. Hopefully. Hopefully it's not. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out. Oh, we'll see about that, man. I'm leaving Kerbin. Ain't nobody stopping me. Okay, how much fuel do we need for the inner stage? Now, to keep our lag down a little bit, I am going to be using a fair amount of Mammoth engines. Ooh, that's only 700 meters. Oof. What kind of TVR is that? 0.42. Cool. 420 TVR. Cool. I can probably disable the fairing, but I don't think it's going to destroy anything. Because fairings usually just like phase through stuff. When you plan to open a Discord, so I do want to open it. I do want to make a Discord, but I feel like my channel is a little bit too small for a Discord now. And I don't really want to make a Discord that's just gonna be dead, you know? So I'd rather wait for now, for like a little bit. But I will be making a Discord in the near future. Okay, how do I do this stage? Actually, let's check out engines. What do we have? This one has 310 ISP. We could probably switch to Rhinos, actually, instead of Mammoths. Maybe. Just disable it now. But it looks better with a fairing, though. So I don't know if we want to disable it. Yeah, I think I need a bigger fuel tank. Probably gonna need multiple Mammoths, actually. Okay, so this gives us 931 meters. I reckon we go with something like this for decouplers. Yep, this will definitely require a lot of boosters, that's for sure. Okay, what kind of TVR do we got now? Okay, well, it's not 0.4. Come on, KSP. That's not right. There's no way it's 0.4. Okay, I'm gonna try it out, just to confirm that it's actually not 0.4 with 5 Mammoths. I highly doubt it is. There's no way. Yeah, it's 1.1. Okay, so that's adequate TVR. I do want to move stuff around a little bit, though. Also, yeah, I do want to put asparagus on the stage. Just need to figure out how I want to go about this. I think I do something like this for the main booster. Dude, if you think this is bad, just wait. Just you wait, man. Okay. And now, as you guys suggested, we do asparagus. See how much these fuel tanks give us. Probably not that much, but I think it's worth a shot. Let's see. Oh yeah, it doesn't tell me. Cool. Okay, so that's 1.4k, and this is... Okay, I'm gonna do it like this, I guess. Okay, so my delta V goes down if I add more fuel. Very cool, very cool. I think we might just have to eyeball it, unfortunately. Oops, wrong thing. Actually, probably gonna be going with something like this. Now, this is gonna be the upper stage. We still haven't done the lower stage. So we're still on the lights part of the build. Probably add 2 of these. Should be fine. Yep, TVR looks good. We add a couple more of these. Now, using this amount of engines is probably not smart, but whatever, should be fine. Or actually, it might be better to just use vectors for these. Let's see, 315. I guess they do have slightly better ISP in the vacuum. So probably not. Now, what would be really cool is if stage info actually worked, but I guess it's deciding to not function at the moment. Yep, this is gonna be like our final stage of the burn. This is definitely not the main stage. Also, this is why I don't show me strutting stuff in the time lapses. Like, it's just me wiggling the camera all over the place, and I feel like nobody wants to see this. It's kind of just boring. Okay, it should be fine. Rip stage info. Yeah, honestly, if you can get a better stage info mod working that like actually works all the time, that would be perfect. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now for the main stage. Now this stage is going to absolutely dumpster my FPS. Just get this thing a little bit higher up into the air. Probably go with something. Oh man, it's so annoying that the camera just like goes up after I place a part. It's very suboptimal. Okay, so we go with something like this. Then we put an unholy amount of vectors on here. Okay, well, I don't want them to clip, so... Yeah, that's pretty weird. Vectors, my beloved. The stage author. Yeah, I saw. Haven't really followed the drama, but yeah, I did see that the stage info is no longer being updated, which is definitely unfortunate. Okay, I'd say that this is definitely a healthy amount of vectors, but we definitely do need more. Let's see. RTVR is, 0.8. It's not even that bad, actually. Oh, whoops, that's definitely not what I wanted. Can you please go on this place? Thank you. And we're just getting started with the vectors. KSP Starship. Yep, it's actually gonna have considerably more vectors than the Starship, actually. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong part. Oh, it's actually still a little bit off center. You need to rotate it a little bit. There we go. Okay, 35 vectors, not bad. Oh, our thrust is really good now. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so this is basically the main booster. Oh, we do have 3000 Delta V in it, apparently. I highly doubt it, but... Starship V2. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and launch this. I highly doubt we have enough Delta V, but... let's try it out. According to the readouts, we do, but... I guarantee that we don't. Oh man, fixing these struts is gonna really suck, but... what you gonna do? Okay, let's see. It looks so weird. Okay, well, let's see how this goes. What I'm mostly worried about is this bar just wobbling itself to death. Also, we're almost guaranteed not to have enough Delta V. I really doubt this is 3000. There's almost no way that this is 3K. I guess FPS is about as shit as expected. Total thrust 27 kilonewtons. Or 27,000 kilonewtons, actually. Upside down. Yeah, it's a little weird shaped. Let's actually see if Kerbal Engineer has a little bit, or Micro Engineer has a bit more info for us in terms of stages. Oh, it actually is saying that we have 2.7K as well. Maybe we do. I doubt it, but maybe. Yeah, FPS is definitely a mythical creature that we unfortunately cannot have. I mean, I've had worse, honestly. Like, 5 FPS is... like, this is genuinely not that bad for me. Now, as long as this thing isn't too bendy, we good. But it might be too bendy to actually take off. Or to actually, like, reach orbit. Okay, so we used up half of our fuel, and apparently we still have this much Delta V, so that's highly suspicious. See how bendy we are. Yeah, we're pretty bendy, but I guess it's not too bad. Oh, actually it's pretty bad. It's actually really bad in terms of bendiness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's suboptimal. Surprisingly, we're actually not bending here, but we're bending here. Which is not what I expected. Okay, let's see how high we get with the first stage. I expected to need more boosters because I really didn't. It really didn't look right that we had enough. Oof, the bend. Yeah, this is... Yeah, I think this bend is gonna kill us. We need to strut this thing a lot more. More struts is always the solution. Oh, come on. Yeah, I guess we don't really have that many struts going from here, so we can definitely add more. Hopefully it will help, but we'll see. Yeah, the low FPS gods are not satisfied. Okay, so we're gonna add a lot more struts, and we're also gonna add more boosters. Ooh, this thing is actually clipping into one of our engines. That's a bit of an issue. Although I guess I can just move these down a little bit. It's not really... not a huge deal. OG Rocket SRVs only load decouplers. Honestly, I usually avoid using SRVs because I'm not a huge fan of them. SRVs are actually super inefficient. And for like a massive rocket, there comes a point where adding more SRVs is actually going to decrease your delta V rather than increase it. So I'll almost always use liquid fueled stuff instead of SRBs. Okay, so probably something like this. We need boosters. Might have messed something up a little bit, actually. Yep. Did indeed mess something up. Not really sure what, though. Something is a little bit off-center. Yeah, I think it was these like side-mounted things. I gotta recenter them a little bit. Oh fuck! I'm getting a. Oh no, we got. Was getting a bug where the mouse just locked onto the thingy. Actually, I probably don't need 4 engines. I can probably do with 3. Only having 3 is also gonna make it a lot easier for me to kind of like fit them in without clipping. Ooh, something is getting messed up here though. What the fuck is happening here? The fuck? Okay, I think I need to oh, I think I had like a bunch of these clipped into each other. Okay. Let's see if we can fix this. Yep, vectors, my beloved. There's nothing in KSP that vectors can't fix. Yeah, that looks pretty legit. Well, they're clipping like super slightly, so I guess it's fine. No, something is still messed up. I keep placing something a little bit like off center, I think. Probably these. I keep messing them up. Yeah, there we go. Oh right, because I didn't have like the same symmetry on these inside vectors. Yeah, okay, I guess this is fine for now. I keep getting the bug where the camera just gets like fixed to the offset tool. It's pretty weird. I mean, it would make sense to have separate launch vehicles for the transfer stage. Yes, you're right, but I would like you to consider that doing it in a single launch is cooler, so we're doing it in one launch. Okay, let's see if 51 vectors is sufficient. I mean, thrust is good. Let's see. I'm making a Duna base. The fuck? Okay, I think I need to launch and then revert because something is busted. Yeah, something is definitely busted.